Welcome to Working with Tops. Tops are texture operators, and in computer graphics, the term texture is used to describe a 2D image asset. So tops are really how we think about working with images and video. Let's add a few of those so we can get started. I'm going to use the Tab key to open up the OpCreate dialog, and I'm going to add a movie file in operator here into my network. Now I'd like to change which image I'm using, so I'm going to head over here to this plus icon inside of the parameters from my movie file in, and this is going to open up a file selection dialog. I'm going to select the Trillium and then hit open. Next, I'm going to add a circle top here into my network. And finally, I'm going to add a composite top here into the network also. Now I can connect these operators one at a time, or I can also elect to connect them both at the same time. To do that, I'm going to right click, hold down to box select both operators inside of my network, and then I can connect both operators simultaneously. Now, if I take a look at the result inside of the composite top, I can see that this looks close, but not quite right. Something doesn't quite right to me. So what's happening? Let's go ahead and take a look at the information for our composite top. So I've clicked on the operator itself. I've headed over to the parameters dialog, and I'm going to click on the info button. This is going to show me the resolution and the aspect of my image. And I can see here that I have a size that's 256 by 256. Where's that number coming from? Let's come back over to our movie file in, and we can actually have a quick access to that info by using the middle mouse button to click and hold and get a little pop-up. So here my Trillium, my image is 1280 by 720, and my circle, this is where my 256 by 256 is coming from. If I take a look at the transform page for my composite top, I can see that I have this parameter called fixed layer. My fixed layer is which input describes the aspect ratio and resolution for my resulting composite. Let's go ahead and change that to input 1. Now that looks much better in terms of resolution. Let's check. This is the resolution that I want, but it does look like it stretched my circle. And what's happened is the prefit overlay parameter is what describes how our images are combined together. In this case, fill is just stretching the other input to fill the fixed layer. Now I have a few options here. I could select any of the fit options that can help make sure that I find a fit that matches against the look that I'm am after. Or if I want to work with pixel perfect measurements, I can select the native resolution menu item. This ensures that I'm working with the exact resolution from both input operators. I'm going to do that today. Next, I'm going to come back to the circle, and I think I want to head over to the common page and turn this up to 1024 by 1024 to get a better fit. Perfect. Last, I think I'm just going to change the size of that circle. So I'm going to come back to the circle page, and I'm going to change the radius. Now I could enter values here directly, say 0.3 by 0.3, or I could use the value ladder. To bring up the value ladder, I'm going to click and hold the middle mouse button, and this allows me to drag, select the increment of value that I'd like to change. So here I could change thousandths, I could change tenths, or I could change whole units. Now, one other way that I can think about making this change is I can middle mouse click on the parameter name itself, and this will change both parameters simultaneously. That's great. So I think I'm just going to make sure that I dial this right into where I want. Let's look at one other combination type. I'm going to add a movie file in up here into my network again. Let's change this to be our jelly beans instead. And this time I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to connect it to a transform top. Now the transform top allows us to do all sorts of interesting transformations to our image. So for example, I can spin this, or I can translate this left and right. And one of the pieces I can think about here for the transform top is I can take a look at one of the elements of the common page called the channel mask. Our channel mask is an interesting part of the way that we can think about working with tops, because this allows us to select which channels we want to apply the transformations to. So let's go ahead and just fractionally move our image over here slightly. So our channel mask allows us to remove the channels from our operation. So for example, here right now, we've applied this transformation to all of the channels, red, green, blue, and alpha for our image. But let's say that I only want to apply this to green, blue, and alpha. I can click on the red channel, and now my red channel has not moved, but the other channels have. This can be really useful for creating all sorts of visual effects, and can also be really helpful for any kinds of specific operations that I might want to do when working with channels inside of a texture operator. This is only the tip of the iceberg for what we can do with tops, but hopefully this gives you an idea of how we can get started when we're working with images and video.